building. Street Knowledge Podcast, y'all know what it is. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the notification so you know when I'm up here. And definitely hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button, man. We need y'all. We need y'all, man. Shout out to all my people, man, that support the channel. Shout out to everybody that send the cash apps. I appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Always got to give y'all, show y'all love. I want to get into something that I've been watching. There's been so many theories, so many speculations also with this Puff stuff, so many different opinions, a lot of judgmental things going on, push narratives of why he should be in jail. My thing is this, man. If the law, the justice system consists of doing the right thing for reasons of creating a jury so 12 people can decide your faith properly and you're not being taken advantage of, that's the reason for our justice system. But it's a fact and well known that a lot of these police break the law to enforce the law. A lot of these prosecutors break the law to enforce the law. Even with Puff being in there, you know, people saying, well, they had to give him something after looking at, you know, that video of him beating on Cassie. That's not how the law works. They're saying they couldn't charge him because statutory limits was up from the time that video was made. If so, then you don't automatically, the judge or nobody gets to say, the judge doesn't get to say, well, we gotta give him something. That's not how it works. If he's not charged for that and whatever he's in there charged for, then that's what needs to happen and or get time for. And I'm not here to defend no Puff stuff. I'm here to defend for our future black men. Because it's only happening to black men. It's only happening to black men, black powerful men, being put in jail and now being prosecuted illegally or railroading right in front of our face in video, on video. It's equivalent to when cops unalive people on video and get off and don't go to jail. So, you know, I had to react to some of this stuff with the guy Sean G, Podcast of Soul. I'm doing this under fair use. Y'all go over there, check it out. But he's been on his job. He's been doing his thing, and I gotta respect it because he ain't let up, and he's going and pulling these documents out and reading these documents from lawyers, Puff lawyers filing. You know, they filing and filing and filing, man. So, you know, that's very important for our future. We need 20, 30, 40 people like him on the job, pushing these type of videos out, showing the corruption of prosecution. Christopher Lamont said, karma is a mother. Well, karma is. But at the end of the day, being put in jail with charges that don't even consist of what they put you in there for, leaving you in jail for charges that's basically made up, and that's what I'm about to show y'all what he's talking about. It showed that the prosecution knew that Cassie was lying, and the other female, I forgot her name, he's gonna say her name in this. They both was lying and coerced the story. Cassie wasn't even Cassie went with the story knowing that she wasn't even there. She was with Puff, ordering food at a hotel, and she still went with the story. How silly is that? And the prosecution knew about all of this and knew that they was lying and try to, on push, the agenda on the Mann Act for Puff to be in there. It's clear as they showed that he wasn't paying and ordering for the guy. The sex trafficker workers were saying that the females paid for them to come over and flew them over and did all the arrangements. So how would he be in there? So now we stand and watch on live TV. Young Ty, salute. We stand and watch on these TV screens, our phones and everything, how they condemn a black man and put him in jail because of their wants and say he deserved it. Not many people out here deserve to be in there if that's the case, from hitting on women all the way up to the politicians and all of the above. But like I said, that's not what he was charged with. Why is he still in there? These prosecutors know about things that was not true, and they still fought it to put him in jail. You can't go off of feelings because you run the court system or being a part of the court system that have some power to put a person in jail and straight up lying. And now this man or woman, if you are being lied upon, in jail, got to eat nasty food, be told what to do. That's not cool. Taking away somebody's freedom. Put them in jail for what they're supposed to be in there. And I'm only doing this and reacting to this because this could be one of our nephews. This could be you. You might blow up and make a lot of money. You might hit the lotto and be a millionaire now and start investing and turn out to make millions and millions and millions. And they take one of them prosecutors or somebody that don't like you, that's cool with the prosecutors, that put money in their pockets to help them with their campaigns, to tell them, yo, I need some help. I wanna, send this person, take this person down for trying to do certain things, and, things of that nature. Whenever they want to hand pick. So enough people need to be out here fighting against this because nobody don't care about it until it's one of their families. And your kids can grow up into this dumb system, and the prosecutors never go to jail. Never go to jail. We go back to the Central Park 5 case. Them prosecutors held back everything and knew that wasn't them boys, and they did all of that. One of them got RAPE'd in there. Traumatized, his life is messed up from that, and just that whole ordeal. When they found out about it and knew that the prosecutors withheld information, nobody goes to jail. That's just one story, and it keeps leading up to now because no prosecutors get in trouble. This is equivalent to these women that keep yelling this RAPE stuff, and it don't be true, and then they find out that it's not true. They don't go to jail. You got men now coming out saying that the men, like the Rod dude, said that he fall asleep and Puff wake up next to him and his anus is tingling. But then he's still saying how he going back and was back over there doing work, and then it happened to him again. That sounds crazy. Now he's trying to sue. All this stuff be money grabs. You got Tyler Perry back in court again because somebody's saying the same thing once again. And I was watching the Ticket TV joint. I like the Ticket TV joint. He be giving up some raw stuff. But, it's certain parts in there where he was saying, Tyler Perry, man, how many times, something got to be true because there's too many people saying this about you, Tyler Perry. Everything ain't a money grab. Man, now, in this day and time, people doing anything to get some money, some millions, and then sacrifice their integrity and make it look like a man came on to them or tried to do, sexual things to them just for some money. And then the next person goes to, man, he did it, I'm gonna try it. It's a trickle effect of people out there like that don't care. So my thing is, I wouldn't say, man, it gotta be something wrong with you, Tyler Perry. Everybody ain't gonna keep saying that. When it comes to millions of dollars, it would be. Let them go in there and say they want to get him charged for doing certain things to him or to them, and don't ask for no money, then I would believe it. Because always then after that it's about the money. But let them make this law that people that lie that they are been SA'd, RAPE, and it don't be true, and they can get a certain amount of time. Watch how a lot of this stuff stops. But they not making a law against it for people lying and playing with somebody's character, somebody's career, somebody's longevity in life. But if you dial 911 and make a false call, which means you lied about the phone call and jeopardized, police time, their resources, they could have been somewhere doing something else, and you got them coming somewhere where you lied about a 911 call, a 911 emergency, that's a charge. So if they could charge you for lying for 911, why in the world you would not charge these women or these men that's making fake allegations and getting somebody character took down, getting them locked up, losing jobs, losing accolades, all the above. That's very damaging. You don't even hear about them getting a lawsuit back on that person. And 9 times out of 10, they ain't no need to sue them because they ain't got nothing. It's all money grab until I see that in court that they was proved wrong. Because now it's just turned into a pattern of everybody doing it. Look at Bill Cosby. They did it to him. Then they find out the lady was lying. But you could easily quick to say because mad women came out on Bill Cosby. So we might as well say, come on, Bill Cosby. Everybody ain't lying now. It's too many people. No, that ain't right. That's crazy. That don't even make sense. Nothing is happening to these people. But once again, nothing happens to the prosecutors, nothing happens to police that hide evidence, don't bring it to court. Not only that, they let Cassie and that girl get on the stand and lie, and the prosecution knowing it was a lie. And in federal court, anywhere in federal court, you get on the stand and lie. That's what little Kim went to jail for a simple lie. About the shooting down in Hot 97, she lied, and they gave her a year in jail. Fela Speak, what up? Ron Borg, salute. So Cassie can get up there and lie on the stand. And even though they gave her immunity, you can't lie on the stand. That should be a breach of contract after that. But it's known that they was lying up there on Puff. Let's skip over all of he a monster, he done rob people for their money. Let's clear all of that out. Because that's what the government did too. They paint this public picture of bad perception about a person, and then they sneak in their little charges that they want to sneak in to get a person found guilty or make the public don't be creating an uproar and giving them backlash. If y'all notice, when they found Puff not guilty, that prosecutor got fired. That's because the higher ups knew we gotta fire her because she done utilize a lot of bogey tactics, and we don't want the public to go crazy. And it would have been backlash on them too for allowing her. Fela Speak said free Puff immediately. Release should be granted because the judge acted as a 13th juror and sentenced Puff based on charges he was acquitted of. Facts. And everybody looking at Puff with the beating on Cassie, but the statutory limits was up for that. We not saying that it was right. We just saying let's push all that to the side right now. Let's talk about the law. Let's talk about the law at hand. And the law at hand got a man in jail because they got feelings of, well, he beat the big charge. We got to still give him something. And in everybody's mind, in the public, they letting these prosecutors fool them because it ain't one of their family members in jail. Yeah, he do got to get something he did. put his hand on her, hands and feet on Cassie. They go back to that stuff. Yeah, he is a ground ball because he robbed people for their royalties and money and all that. Let's skip over all of that. Let's talk the law while he in there, so we can understand that somebody is really in jail for something that they didn't do. But we're gonna listen to Sean G. The podcast was sold. Y'all go over there, check it out. But he make a lot of good points, and we need 20 and 30 people like him to keep pushing this stuff in front of these cameras, so people can listen and don't get fooled. For real.
On Sean G locked in. Another thing I learned at the Puffy trial.
Good fellow was
Alexander Shapiro, who was filing Puffy's appeal, she requested another mistrial. This was the second mistrial.
You watched
I think she requested 3. I think it's 3, and I was looking through all my paperwork, but I couldn't find it. I got 2. Now, here is a letter. Shapiro, Arado, and Bach. Shout out to my man Jonathan Bach. The Southern District of New York, the prosecutors called the witness called Brianna Bogelin. Name is Bonner. This was one of Cassie's friends. This girl had a serious drug problem. When Nicole Westmoreland was cross-examining her on...
That's the girl name I was talking about, that Puff was telling her not to be around Cassie because she bad influence, and telling Cassie don't be around her. But we're going to really listen.
Understand, Nicole Westmoreland went through about 9 different drugs that this girl was taking.
Wow.
And her and Cassie, Brianna Bogelin and Cassie were friends. They met while Cassie was working at some t-shirt place.
Sean G got all his paperwork, man. That's one thing I like about this cat, man. Watching him for a while. He's on point. And we don't got too many brothers out there that's like this to push a narrative or the truth for a brother when he's locked up. Once you locked up, out of sight, out of mind, nobody even care about you no more, man. None. That's what's powerful about this. But we're gonna listen. He gonna ready to tell y'all some deep stuff about this appeal.
Anyway, her and Cassie used to get high together. Brianna Bogelin is a lesbian. This was Cassie's friend. Cassie and Brianna had a friendship or relationship for over a year before Cassie even got the nerve to introduce her to Puff. And when Cassie introduced Brianna to Puff, Puff told her, I don't want you hanging out with that girl. And told Brianna, stay away from Cassie because you're a bad influence on her. But anyway, they came up with this story after Cassie sued Puff for $20 million and got it.
Now see, this is where it gets interesting. Her and Cassie came up with a story after Cassie sued Puff. Listen to this story, man. This is where it gets crazy, man. Ron Bull said, Cat be going down there working, doing his homework. Salute to Sean G. Facts, he do, man. Yeah, this nasty work. Listen what he say, y'all.
Cassie and Brianna got on the phone together and concocted this story that Puffy hung Brianna Bogelin off the balcony of Cassie's apartment in LA.
So now they came up with the story that Puff hung the Brianna girl out the window. Her and Cassie concocted this story now. What's what he said?
Brianna said Puffy hung her off the balcony of Cassie's apartment. Cassie, in her civil suit filed by Doug Wigdor from the Wigdor law firm, which was a perjured story, said it happened at a hotel. So their stories didn't match from that point, first and foremost.
So the stories didn't even match. The stories didn't match. But let's listen.
Brianna gets on the stand. She meets with the federal prosecutors, I don't know how many times, man. 8, 9, 10, 11 times, whatever it was, to get her story together. Alexander Shapiro filed this motion the next day after Brianna got off the stand and asked for a mistrial for perjury, because the Southern District of New York prosecutors, all 6 prosecutors, knew that the story that Brianna was going to get on the stand and tell, and the direct examination they did with Cassie where they brought up this event, they knew that shit was a lie before they even introduced it under oath, on the record, in the transcript, as evidence in the trial.
That's deep. So now you got the prosecutors against you, bringing up a witness that they probably coerced, and knowing that the story was not a real story, to get on the stand, to lie, to sway the public, the jury, to whoever, knowing it's a lie, knowing that they got this woman up there breaking the law. It's a year in jail to get on the federal court and lie. So it's a year in jail off the gate. Ain't even nothing to talk about. This is crazy. And now a man gets put behind bars. Somebody in the chat just said, you know, it was hard to, you know, feel sympathy for Puff because a lot of the evil stuff that he was doing, they believe a man could change. Ty LV 49. But at the end of the day, you're right. Plenty of people can change. But still, at the end of the day, when you do something to any person, or should I say when you charge anybody, charge them with what you want to get them for. You can't just be a prosecutor and just give anybody what type of charge you want to give them, then make up lies and then put them in jail right in front of our eyes. Are we supposed to accept that? Let's skip over all of the bad stuff Puff did to people, the evilness or whatever. It haven't been proven that he did anything to Tupac or Biggie. Haven't been proven. None of that is skeptical, all in the air. But let's push that to the side. Let's talk about what Sean G just said. They knew that they was putting a woman on the stand that was gonna lie, and she's supposed to get a year for lying, but they allowed her to do so, just so they could send a man to jail, man. That don't make it right. And if things like that keep happening, we all are doomed out here, man. We will be in jail for any little thing because they get away with it right on TV. And people like us will keep saying, yeah, so what? He a monster. So what? Well, what about when they do it to people that ain't monsters? What we do? We don't do nothing. We don't help them out. We don't got people like Sean G that be out here fighting every day for a person that's in jail. They just gone for the rest of their life until a good lawyer see a case and take on the case, because there's a lot of lawyers that review cases that they think is done, a person done wrong, and they'll see the flaws in it. They'll take it on and get them out of jail. And when they get them out of jail, then they done been in there 20, 30 years, gone out of their life because of a prosecutor playing with their life. And then there's no penalty for them. No penalty for that person. The prosecutors don't go to jail. They don't get fired. Nothing. Plenty of innocent people in jail. And it's wrong. And we can't just sit back and let them blind us with all of the bad stuff Puff did. He got an answer to that part, even whether it's legal and people that he did rob with music stuff and all that. We get that. Anything else, we don't have no proof of him really unaliving nobody. He might have definitely did people wrong with the, you know, with the music, all that stuff. Let's push that to the side. And hopefully get his mind right from that type of stuff, especially due to this. You know, like Philo said, Cassie stayed with Puff. But let's finish. What?
And it was done specifically for the purpose because it was inflammatory evidence, right? To shock and awe the jury, to put a nail in the jury's mind about how violent and dangerous Puff could be because he hung this girl over the balcony, which would add to the violence and coercion and the force predicate offenses under the RICO to help him get convicted under the...
Right, so basically they want the jury to see all this bad stuff, If the jury wasn't sharp, they would have looked at all the bad stuff that the prosecutors did, let this woman get on here and lie, and would have said guilty for the big charge because of the prosecution scam and the prosecution way they fought the case. Keep throwing out him being a bad guy and what he did to people and all of that. And they not understanding, they convicted him of that big RICO. They said guilty for the RICO with the mental of domestic violence was what the prosecution was feeding them. They didn't feed them RICO stuff. They fed the jury the domestic violence stuff, and then he would have went and got a RICO charge and found guilty. It would have been the rest of his life, took all his companies, his money and everything. That's not fair to no human being out here, man. They don't have the right to do that and play with nobody's life and do that. And we supposed to sit back and let that happen, man. We got to think for our future. Our future is our young kids growing up and be millionaires and be picked out of these streets and get put in the same predicament Puff is in. And then we only care if it's our family member that we know is being done wrong. That's crazy. But listen what he said.
RICO, the whole story was a lie. The day Nicole Westmoreland brought out at the trial that soon as I never will forget it. Because you know where I was at? I was in the goddamn overflow. I was back there in the back, in the overflow. You go in the overflow, 2 doors, then you dip to the left. I sat over there in the corner. I used to hide my coffee. Like this, so the marshal couldn't see it. I would hold my coffee with my thumb like that.
Philo speak, he said he was still paying Jane Doe, aka Daphne Joy, rent. So once again, where is the evil? Facts. Everybody got a bad side to them, and some people overflow with the use of it, which he did do that, but this ain't got nothing. This is bigger than all of that. And this is about a man's freedom that if they get away with him, with this, even he should be out of jail now, but now they got away with it because of their feelings. Like they said, the judge was a 13th juror. Like his feelings, we got to give him something because he did beat on Cassie, and they want the world to look at that. That's why you got Tisa Tells that just she's so going crazy on him all about it because of the beating. And she up there and she on her podcast do a lot of lying. She don't care about a black man in jail for the wrongdoing of the prosecution. Tisa Tell just going off of what he supposed to be the evil man. She's in her feelings with this stuff with Puff. She's not doing it for the right of what he might have really done. It's proven that he didn't do it. She's just speaking on feelings of women being beaten on and all that. Now, I get that part, but don't be adamant and passionate about a man that's in jail and saying he's supposed to be in there anyway. We don't care, whatever. It's people that be in her comments say, well, we don't care that he in jail. He should be in there because the way he was beating on them women. No, this is the justice of the law, the balance of the scale. And you are innocent till proven guilty. And when you're proven guilty for what you are charged for, then you should be in there. No man should be in nowhere because y'all see videos that the government let publicly be shown so you can make judgment off the gate of that. You know how many people in their private lives beat on women? This is crazy. And if we don't stop this and put our foot down and more people speak about this, a lot of us going to jail with the people that's in there right now for stuff they didn't do. That ain't cool, man. For real.
And let the paper fall over, and then I would put my coffee next to the bench so they couldn't see I had coffee. I used to sneak my coffee into the overflow.
Fidar Speaks said nobody supports domestic violence. Facts. That's a fact. We never gonna support that. Ever. Almost popped the dude for putting his hand on a woman. And that's real life. So I ain't never gonna go that route, support none of that. But let's push it to the side and talk about a man that's in jail right in front of our eyes, man.
My coffee was better than everybody else's coffee too, because I make the best coffee. Brianna took the stand, and Nicole Westmoreland brought it right out off the bat. It says, Brianna, you and Cassie got together to make up this story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Brianna denied it. And Nicole said, you contacted Cassie this morning, right? Yes. Brianna said yes. Brianna Boglin and Cassie Ventura were texting each other minutes before Brianna took the stand to perjure herself with the story about how Puffy hung her over the balcony.
Minutes before she took the stand. That's crazy. Minutes before. And the prosecution knew that she was going to be doing perjury. So they don't get in trouble for that? By assisting her? Prosecutors don't get, so they got immunity to send people to jail and allow them to stand and break the law. So they using the law to enforce the law. That's deep. Ron Bull said, I would say they did all the extras, not only because of Cassie, but the beat all that they were charging him with. But lying is most definitely not supposed to be allowed on no stand. That's a fact. That's a big no-no. And the prosecution did it. They let it happen. They assisted that. When you assist somebody in a murder, you can be in the house and you just sitting out I mean, somebody can come in the house that was riding with you, you drop them, let them go out, you outside waiting on them, or you could just be the getaway driver. You could be, and they unalive people in there, get back in the car and leave with you. You assisted. You don't even have to be there. Look at the queso dude. He wasn't, his father wasn't even there. Called him to come get him because something happened with the car, whatever, and down, he got locked up because he assisted. You could be at the bank outside waiting for them to come outside with the money. You're going to jail because you assisted. Now, prosecutors can do it. They don't go to jail. Well, how is that even possible, man? That's wild.
The story came out. Nicole Westmoreland was masterful. The story comes out that it was impossible for Puffy to hang this girl off the balcony in Los Angeles.
Listen.
Because him and Cassie was in New York that day. It was September the 26th, 2016. On September the 25th, 2016, Puffy and Cassie was in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center doing the Bad Boy reunion tour. They were on stage with Little Kim.
Now look at this, man. Look at this, y'all. They was in LA at a hotel. He couldn't have hung out the balcony. Ordering food, room service. Then they was on stage with Little Kim in Newark, New Jersey. And it's facts, all receipts, all documents. How is this man in jail, man? How? This is crazy. We looking at a man that's free right in front of our face, but is not free, is in jail. And people are commenting and saying, so what? So human life don't matter? That prosecutors could do it how they want to? No, y'all catch him the correct way doing his wrong things. If y'all want him that bad. make the feds investigate him and catch him with something, like they do drug dealers. They investigate them without people being known that they're being investigated to catch them with something wrong. Y'all way out of line for this, man. And that girl is way out of line and she ain't in jail.
Before Puffy checked into the Trump International Hotel on September the 24th and didn't check out until the 29th. He was here for 5 days, him and Cassie. Yet, Cassie and this girl, Brianna, said that Puffy hung Brianna off a balcony in LA. Brianna said it was at Cassie's apartment. Cassie said it was at a hotel in LA. It was impossible because Nicole Westmoreland showed the hotel receipt of the Trump International where Puffy and Cassie are ordering room service all day on the 26th. And he had to do a charity appearance up in Harlem for the Boys and Girls of Harlem. And then he did a signing at the Macy's on 34th Street in Manhattan. So it was impossible for him to be in LA when he was in New York. And Alexander Shapiro went off and told the prosecution, told the judge that y'all motherfuckers knew that story was a lie, but yet you presented it anyway, and she asked for a mistrial. The defense respectful.
And they still ain't give him a mistrial when his lawyer asked for a mistrial and proved that this woman is lying. She still didn't get charged with it or nothing. That's crazy. Feel I Speak said that liquor company, that is all about Puff calling out racism and actually suing them too. But calling out racism, now when we standing up for something that's right, that will benefit us as black people, now a man go to jail because his influence is strong. Even though he's a monster, let's keep all that over there. He was the monster, whatever. But he's calling it out about something that's right. Now he gets to go to jail. And now that path that he was trying to create for us has been demolished. It's just out the window. Got to start all over again. So what's the next big figure that we got out here start talking about racism and now these big dogs and big figures, big politicians don't like it and they cool with people that got control of federal people, federal police that can just automatically come up with a charge on you. What's the next big figure that will fight for us to get some type of, you know, ahead of the game or future rights, future good, great jobs? Who's next to get snatched up and then get a picture painted about their personal life? Everybody got personal freaky stuff that they do behind these closed doors. Everybody. But we overlooking the wrong stuff and we not looking at the right stuff. We just going off of, it's like reading, looking at a book and you don't want to read, you just want to see the pictures and then you just make out of it what you want to make out of it. But then somebody asks you questions about the book, you can't even answer them. You can only answer off of the pictures that you see. That's backwards. That's not even being smart. That's not even being intelligent. So y'all out here acting like you're intelligent. People that comment on this Tisa Tale stuff, they're not speaking with intelligence. They're speaking out of emotions. Tisa Tale's, her whole platform is about emotion. Not about a man that's locked up in a cage like an animal. Certain people need to be in jail. Don't get it twisted. And deserve everything what jail got for them. But, and even if Puff did get caught for the things that he is a monster for, then so be it. Then he would deserve to be in jail. We not talking about that. We still pushing that evil stuff and he robbed people and all that. And he ain't been proven with all this other stuff that they saying. We pushing that over there. We talking about right now what Sean G talking about. Let's finish.
Police submits this letter in support of its renewed motion for a mistrial based on prosecutorial misconduct. June the 7th, 2025. Dear Judge, I don't even want to say his name, man. I don't even say my man's name no more for what he did at the sentencing.
Man,
When the introduction of perjured testimony results in a criminal conviction and the prosecution knew or should have known of the perjury, the conviction must be set aside if there is any reasonable likelihood that the false testimony could have affected the judgment of the jury.
Right.
Moreover,
so what he's saying is that testimony was a way to sway the jury to find Puff guilty for the weaker charge. And the prosecution knew about the girl getting ready to get up there and lie, and still allowed it. So his Puff lawyers is asking for them that guilty conviction need to automatically be overturned. And where's how the judges is not understanding that and still fighting to keep him in jail?
The prosecutor's knowing use of perjured testimony can violate the due process clause, even if it only undermines a witness's credibility. As the Supreme Court has explained, a lie is a lie, no matter what its subject. And
a lie is a lie. The Supreme Court said it doesn't matter what its subject. You cannot lie at all on that stand, man. And the prosecution assisted in that. What penalty do they get? What punishment do they get? None. Fila Speak said Sean was trying to be fair with the judge, but he finally realized the judge had it in for Puff. I remember him being fair with the judge, and hopefully he was hoping for the best, and the judge was going to do the right thing according to the law. You can't get around the law, and would have had to let Puff go, and he didn't. Fila Speak said, I want that judge disbarred. That judge allowed them witnesses to totally disrespect his court while he in there with perjury, and he still didn't care. That's a fact. Fila said the judge is no good.
If it is in any way relevant to the case, the district attorney has the responsibility and duty to correct what he knows to be false and elicit the truth. As explained above. As explained below, in this trial, the government has presented testimony that it knew or should have known was materially false related to its allegation that Mr. Combs dangled Breonna Bogelin from a balcony of Cassie Ventura's apartment in September 2016. Accordingly, to avoid an unfair conviction in this case, the court should grant a mistrial.
And see, the prosecutors supposed to did their research once that woman started giving them information like that. Which they probably did do their research and knew that the woman was lying, but they was willing to let her lie so they can win. It's all about a win for them. They knew this woman was lying because they did their research. I'm pretty much clear. Government don't play. They cross their T's and dot their I's on every other case, on a lot of cases. They come up with stuff that people, you know, whoever they are prosecuting at the time, be wondering, like, how the hell they get found out about that? That's how gangster the government is. You got to give them their props. That's why nobody don't want no smoke with the government. But now when they doing this unlawfully, we are in a world of trouble, man.
When Cassie and Breonna, it came out under Nicole Westmoreland's cross-examination. It's in the record under oath, in the testimony, and in the physical evidence. Cassie and Breonna would get on the phone after Cassie got her money. Cassie said, well, you sue him too, get you 10 million. They would get on the phone.
And see what I'm saying? This is what I was saying earlier about how it's a trickle effect of people that will say, I'm gonna do me a lawsuit too. They did a lawsuit, he did a lawsuit, she did a lawsuit. I got some ties with this person, I'm gonna make up something myself. But the Ticket TV guy, I heard him yesterday say about Tyler Perry, he was covering Tyler Perry with Tyler Perry lawsuit, that another guy came out with Tyler Perry, and he's saying, come on, Tyler Perry, ain't that, there's too many people saying it, man. Everybody ain't gonna be lying. That's not true when it comes to the type of money that they trying to get. There's plenty of evil people out here. There's plenty of people that don't give a damn if they can go and get some quick money and think that it'll be over with after the case is over. It'll be swept under the rug, and now they got all this money for lying on a person. It just showed you right here what he just read about Cassie, well, her friend. I got 20 million. Now you go ahead and try to get you a couple million. That's crazy right there.
And concocts
And send the man to jail on top.
stories and compare notes and say, where should we say it happened? Let's say it happened at your apartment. And then Blair would say, no, let's say it happened at the hotel. All right, who are we gonna say there? Let's say Tiffany Red was there, or somebody else was there. They fucking put together this whole story in order for Brianna to be able to sue Puff and get $10 million, knowing that she was going to be called as a witness. This is what went on at the Puffy trial. This is what Puff had to go through, man. This is what he had to go through, to sit there with his life on the line, life without the possibility of parole, never seeing his daughters again, never seeing his mother again. And he's got people on the stand sitting up there telling outrageous lies, untruths, and his life is on the line, man.
Can you imagine, man, somebody that you actually know sitting there telling a lie on you, and you are facing to be in jail forever? Forever, and this person really sitting in it's like you like probably out of your body at this time, like, yo, they really gonna try to send me to jail and lie like that? Are you serious? And then you gotta sit there and hold your composure. Oh my God, man, that's crazy to me right there, man. And they not evil? Cassie not evil? A lot of people saying, man, we ain't excusing Cassie neither, but y'all keep skipping over it and still saying Puff evil, and I don't care about that. He still need to do some type of time because he beat Cassie down. We done heard Cassie in testimony in court say to one of the workers, yo, erase that message or I will have you unalive. I'm telling you, I ain't gonna do it myself, but I will send somebody. They got all of that. But she got immunity, so she got away with that. But it just showed her character, man. Aubrey Allen said Cassie is manipulative, and that's a fact. And all of these reasons is why Puff shouldn't be in jail neither. This is crazy right here.
Yeah.
But to never see his kids again, at least on the other side of the wall. These women don't got no compassion about a man seeing his family. Enough to say, nah, I can't get up there and do that and take a man from his family. I can't do that. But it's all about the money. And they saying that people won't make up all these stories on these celebrities. They gonna make them up on celebrities. Why they ain't making them up on other people? Why other people that this stuff really happened to in real life? That's a smack in the face for the people that these things really happen to in real life. For a person to come up on these stands and or take charges out on these celebrities and do that, and it never really happened. That's a smack in the face to people that it really happened to. Nobody go to jail. Let them make up a law where people get charged. I guarantee you, nobody will be making these fake accusations up and even taking a chance gambling with their life to try to get 10, 20 million out of a celebrity. They ain't gonna gamble 10, 20 years. So, Ticket TV, I don't agree with him on that, but like his content, I like what he do, I like his work. But that's just one of the things, I don't agree with that one. Everybody ain't gonna just be making this stuff up on you. When you are a powerful person like that, come on, it's common sense, bro, that people will do that. Too many people that will do it and don't care. People do way less for some money. Some people do way worse for some money to people out here. For real. That's equivalent to saying nobody won't break into somebody's house if they think some money in there. People break into people's house because they think the caliber of a person, because he be frequent or she frequents that house where they be at, or office somewhere some money is in there. And break into it, nothing in there, sometimes unalive the person because they either know them or they just evil people to unalive them. That's bad. It's more easier to say a person groped you, touched on you, and or might have when you were asleep, you woke up, your anus was hurting. That's easy to say. And then another person come right behind him and dictate the same thing. So I don't agree with that. I will, but I won't say that Tyler Perry didn't do it because I don't know his character. But I would judge the man until that judgment is over, and I would judge it off the evidence if I get to see it myself. Before I just say people won't do that. It's too many people. Somebody got to be right. Nah, no.
And Alexander Shapiro asked for the mistrial, and the judge denied it. He wasn't, that judge was not the ultimate decision maker in that case. He always, any big decisions, he had to go in the back. And he would, in the courtroom, during the proceedings, because he's a very smart judge, right? He would follow the letter of the law. He would espouse the letter of the law. He would object, sustain objections, overrule objections, apply legal law. But when it came down to mistrials, bail, removing juror number 6, that nigga had to go in the back, whether we went on lunch or a break, and whatever he said in the court during the proceeding that was right, he would come out from behind, from that break, from lunch, and say something totally different, as if somebody back there told him, said, look, you go out there and you do this. That's the way it went down.
And see, he even gave the judge his props, saying that this judge is smart, due to the fact of all the other things that the judge had to read off. That was things that was he had to use a judgment by the law and by the book. But when it came down to judgment of bail, the Puffy lawyers asking for a mistrial due to the conflict of the lady and them up there lying and perjury. All of a sudden now he don't know, or he's not the smart judge that he is. He got to go in the back and figure it out to himself. Each time for those big boy moves, he got to go to the back and figure it out, and then come back and go against the right things that was supposed to be done, and don't even have a real fair answer as a judge. That's crazy to me.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I saw that with my own eye. So, we logged in. Get the Scully out. Look.
So yeah, man, I had to come up here and chime in with y'all, my knowledgeable people, and I had to react off of this Sean G stuff, man, and give my point of view. It's not about defending Puff evil doings and all of that. Let's push that to the side. We up here to defend an innocent man in jail, and he's in there because a person has the power to say no. And then you gotta wait for another higher judge to look at it. By that time he's sitting and sitting and sitting. By the time he keeps saying no, and then another higher judge get to look at the paperwork and review it and all of that, he'll be out of jail, man. But they still want to get that dropped so it won't be on record. So I get why they still fighting also, man. R.B. Allen said, I can't wait to watch Diddy's documentary. I'm sure he documented a lot of stuff just for the sake of liars. Diddy's documentary coming soon on Zeus Network. You heard about Zeus Network grabbing that? I ain't heard nothing about that, but that's gonna be one of the biggest documentaries out. Zeus Network, Lemmy Plummer, that's my boy. I did one of the owner of Zeus Networks, Lenny Plummer. He the one that owns that the Baddies Club. But I was in one of his reality shows called Music Moguls with Dame Dash. I was with Dame on the Music Moguls segment. On Dame Dash segment of Music Moguls. It was on BET, came out every Tuesday with Snoop Dogg, Birdman Baby, and Jermaine Dupri. We had a good time filming out here. I brought them to North Carolina. They was out here with me in North Carolina. We did a lot of the North Carolina segments out here. Then we flew to LA and finished it off. So shout out to the Zeus Network. If he pick up Puffy joint, it's gonna be another big. He gonna break the internet with that. He gonna break the internet with it. But yeah, and you're right. That would be interesting. I'm sitting thinking about it now. He could show a lot of stuff that was lies on him in the trial, in his documentary. He gonna get them millions like that. Boom. As soon as he get out. As soon as he get out, man. And you know, I looked at the documentary that Netflix put out and used 50 Cent as the promotion for it. And once again, if Fifth mad at him about something and him and Puff got a beef or whatever, then it is what it is. That he put it out. I don't see where Puff could have went to jail, because none of that stuff is accurate. It's just still showing stuff we saw already. And that really, to me, was a money grab to do the documentary, and which is Netflix. It's not 50 Cent. It's Netflix. But everybody know Fifth. He don't care. He'll get behind it, put his name on it, make him some money. It is what it is. Can't tell a man how to beef with another man if they, go into war. But it's also the people saying he wasn't behind it, so he shouldn't have really put his name and stamped on that. The white man, whoever was behind it, got the real money out of that situation. And it put Netflix back in standard with a lot of people that had dropped Netflix. A lot of people went and got Netflix just because of that documentary. And reopened their accounts, all of the above. And 50 ain't getting no money out of that. So, I don't know. That's just a whole nother story. I just don't like to see nobody in jail. I don't wish jail on my own worst enemy. If I got a problem with an enemy, I deal with my enemy. I ain't gonna send him to jail. But that documentary couldn't send Puff to jail. It just explored his sexual life like the courts did. It was already out there. But this is a sad situation, because we are the ones that will be held a fault later on down the road if we accept this type of behavior from prosecutors and nobody keeps speaking out about it. I shout out to the Sean G dude for keeping on what he's doing and keeping this in front of the TV, in front of cell phone people watching it. Need 20, 30 more people that's coming from other directions of showing misconduct of prosecutors and sending people to jail. It's not good. That's a fact. Ro Williams said he played around with the judicial system 4 years. Bro, the time he finally got is very slight. Count your blessings, it could have been way worse. It could have been way worse, but if he's in there for reasons of not even having to be in there, that don't mean he should be in there. A lot of us do stuff and got away with it, and we ain't in jail. That means everybody, a lot of people should be in jail for doing dirty stuff out here. I know a lot of niggas did dirt to me. I just couldn't prove it was them, but I know they did dirty stuff. Stole, broke into my crib and I wasn't there. I just couldn't prove it was them. But I'm just saying, some beat on their women, a lot of people. That's personal stuff. We talking about the law. He should be in there for the law, for what he has done. The judicial system is the balance of the scale, man. You can't unbalance it the way you want to. just because what a person has done. That's why it's called public perception, that the government put out there so people could look at it that way. Who cares if he got 4 years? It could have been way worse. It shouldn't be no 4 years. It should be nothing. That's just the bottom line. Who is next to get picked to be put in jail right in front of our face? So we all, as black people, saying it's okay to put us in jail, as long as y'all show us a few things that they did dirty to somebody. A lot of people do dirt to people every day, man, and it ain't gonna never stop. Because a lot of us in our culture is selfish because we want what we want and or jealous of what the next man got. And that's a fact. Gonga Roast, what up? He said, nah, it went through 50, Bootsie. My clients on the documentary signed contracts through 50. Yeah, no doubt. A lot of people did, you know, say they was up there because of 50 and things of that nature. But like Gene said, the lady told him that was in charge of it, said, Fifth don't call no shots with this. He said, well, I'm only up here because of Fifth. She was like, yeah, but he don't make no payments to nobody or nothing. Feel I Speak said, Ghana Rose, what? He said the Netflix doc was Netflix. That's why Diddy sued Netflix and not 50. 50 was the plantation mascot for Netflix, is what Feel I Speak says. And the lady said it. I mean, Gene Deal said that's what the lady told him. That's on Art of Dialogue. That 50 don't call no shots. Aubrey Allen said that Diddy document is coming in 2026. I watched the trailer. Where can I go see the trailer at? I would love to see that. Yeah, people were signing through 50, whoever 50 was bringing, but the head of that horse was Netflix. Netflix was the head of that horse, and that lady was doing the ringleading, confirmed by Gene Deal. And they didn't want to pay Gene, and Gene was like, why would I be doing this? 50 told me this to this to that. And she said, well, 50 don't call no shots here. He said, well, I'm only here because of 50. And if I ain't gonna get paid, then I'm not doing this. And then Gene said that, yo, Fifth, they use a lot of my insight and intel for what I've been doing for years for that documentary, 50. I need to get my check. What's up, Fifth? But Fifth don't hold no weight for it to do that. But I get what you're saying. You Feel I Speak, you don't know, Gonga Roach is a lawyer. He's an entertainment lawyer. That's what he do all day, every day for a long time. Saved a lot of dudes' careers out here. The Locks, a lot of people. So he has a lot of intel on the inside also. But us as black people, man, we got to get together and focus on the problem. And the problem is the prosecution, not what a person's personal life is. They're a monster, they rob people and all of that. I don't like none of that neither. I don't like to Puff rob people for their money. That ain't cool and that ain't fair to nobody. And he got an answer to that. And hopefully now this sit him down and make him say that he's going to change and he won't do that no more, which probably nobody going to do business with him no more anyway. But maybe some people will. Some people might feel that they ain't changed and they can rock with him. But it's just going to be an awkward situation later on. But we cannot be looking at the monster in people. We got to look at the big picture. One of us could be next, man, if we liable to get some millions and some money. Feel I Speak says, salute to you. I hope you fight for reparations Since you're a lawyer, you don't know what I do for a living. Let's leave ego out of this. He's not saying it for ego, bro. He's just letting you know what he do. That's all. That ain't his style. He just let you know why he has some insight on that. Garrett Huff said, "What's up, Gongo? You helping a lot of people get their contracts right?" He has done that. That's a fact. He has done that, but I'll let him answer that if he's still up here. He has a list of that. You get robbed for your royalties. He's one of the men that has helped, and will help. Aubrey Allen said, might need to go to the international courts and fight for reparations. That's a fact, man. We got to do something, man. And there's got to be more people that speak out about this type of stuff instead of looking at the bad picture of a personal life. We can't let them just be playing with our culture and putting us in jail and paint the picture, and we sit back and be like we yes mans to the prosecution, to these white people that's bringing us down, man. We can't. We can never do that. It's time for us to take a stand. And Puff was about to take a stand is what they seen. And that's probably the reason, and those are reasons people saying he's in there, man. Garrett Huff says, salute to you, bro. Oh yeah, I had to interview my brother on Casa, man. I felt bad for what he was saying when he spoke out about Jimmy. And you know, Jimmy, that's my man. And on Casa, that's my little bro. You know, I was the first to sign on Casa until I got incarcerated. But he continued making his moves in the streets when I was doing my time. But he always was a good dude, always showed up, always showed love. So I had to let that interview be seen. And I ain't understand why Hell Rel and J.R. Ryder and them didn't even speak up for him, because if it wasn't for him, Cam wouldn't have never heard homie. Cam wouldn't have never heard him. And Cam heard him and liked him. And that started Hell Rel's journey right there. Being part of that movement. So he's, you know, when Jim said something that Uncasa didn't like, he could at least still say, but nah, that's my man though. Nah, Casa good people. They didn't even speak about Casa in it. Everything was about what they went through. Gongaroo said, I think Jim stopped talking to me when he learned I helped Max B get out of prison. Word. Wow. I wouldn't wish prison on my worst enemy, man. I wouldn't. Gentleman's Corner said Uncasa some type of way. Nah, he definitely is. I'm about to call him. Uncasa is going to be on my soundtrack for the movie Wrong Number that I got coming out next month with my brother Terry D Films. It's a Terry D film. He wrote it, directed it, everything. That's my brother. I'm doing the soundtrack. I got Uncasa on there. I'm getting ready to call him later and gear up to do his video for that. And we're going to bring all the Harlem out and show all the love. I'm going to have all my peoples come out, bring them toys out for Uncasa. Appreciate it, Gombo. Appreciate it. And we got another one right behind it. So we got a 10 movie venture that we're doing with with Tubi. So we're gonna bang them out back to back this year. One coming after that is called Destiny. So Empire doing the distribution. I got my brother on there. I got Jimmy on there too. It's a unique joint featuring Jim Jones, Dave East, Votto. The AAO, alright. We bringing that back to life. The new version. So Jimmy and Votto and Dave East gonna do the video for that. We're gonna get that knocked down. So I'm gonna have 2 big videos for the movie, airing on BET, and Revolt. So we coming for him this year. Gonna go for real. Aubrey Allen said, "Feel I speak." Johnny Field filed against Oklahoma for reparations and Tulsa. Gentleman Corner said that diplomat intro Casa. Fire. Facts. So yeah. We gonna go crazy for my little bro, man. Casa deserve. He put in a lot of work and all that, man. A person can't never not give a person that put in hard work and loyalty. One thing I know about Casa, he has loyalty. And brothers like that need to get their flowers too. Especially when he was the butt or one of the people that was the reason for that. How they started with the mixtapes, doing their thing, Cam start coming around, liking what they was doing. And the rest was just history after that. He speaks about it. Anybody didn't see it, y'all go and check my podcast out. Y'all check out the interview I did with Casa. We had a real little brother, big brother talk, and he gets into all of that stuff, how Dipset started and all that, and how he met Cameron. Real big, real big. Garrick Huff said Bootsie and Dame Dash needs to be a part of that Rooftop movie or series. Well, he was talking with Gusto. Gusto was over at his house actually a few months ago about that. So I don't know what happened or what came about or why, it might didn't happen. But we keep hearing about it. I'm hearing Teddy Riley is a part of it. I think Gongu told me Teddy Riley is a part of it. He said Teddy Riley told him. Gongu's up here. He'll tell you. So, that would be good if Dame was a part of it. Aubrey Allen, okay, peace. But I like shedding light on Harlem and where we come from. And I like everybody spreading love, I wish Jim didn't do Uncasa like that. I don't know. We ain't heard Jim do a rebuttal back to it yet. And it's always whack when you in the middle of 2 friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with Jim and I'm cool with Un. And I like everything Jim doing. I like he's rebranding himself to do something else. He's still one of the most lyrical guys in Harlem. Un is one of the most lyrical guys in Harlem. But I love that they both are still doing stuff, man. So yeah. So only thing I can do is just give my pointers to both of the brothers, man. Gentleman Corner said 2026 about to be a movie. That's a big fact. We moving. I'm coming for him this year. I got a lot of brothers, good brothers, a part of what we doing in this journey, and we all sticking together, and we pushing each other to the limit. And that's why I always got to speak out what's right and what's better for us, even if I don't know you. Whatever I do could help you from a distance, from afar. I'm with all of that. I'm not with these illegal things that the prosecutors are doing. They are breaking the law to enforce the law. I ain't with none of that, sending our black brothers to jail for nothing. Now, if somebody do something and you catch them right, we can't be up here defending that. You got caught. You did what you did. If you out in the street hustling, you get caught, you got to accept it. I had to accept mine. Even though they violated my rights, pull us over, search the car illegally. I took a judge trial. I was facing 60 years, and I still blue trial and I went and did my time. In my mind, I knew I was doing wrong. It is what it is. I ain't have enough money at that time. All my money was gone through lawyers. One lawyer robbed me. I had 100,000 in the street. They disappeared. So I just had to accept it. So that's just life. But putting a person in jail for all the wrong stuff, and we seeing it in our face in real time, and we standing on it, and we want to utilize personal perception or their personal life because they send videos and photos and all that of the bad part of a person. I'm not with none of that. I ain't with that. I'm not no Puff supporter for wrongdoing. I'm a Puff supporter for him being done wrong in jail. That's it. I don't wish that on nobody, man. Gangaroo said, I helped Hell Rail and JR Ryder get their masters back over the summer. They talked about that in the Jim Jones joint. They got their masters back. Big facts. That's what's up. Salute to you. I remember you told me that too. Feel I Speak said, damn, Bootsie, you was really outside. You saw real bread. Oh, that's a big fact. Humongous fact. My documentary is called From the Streets to the Music. And I was really doing it. And it's gonna end with a positive message to these young kids. It only take them, you can hustle forever, but it take them one time to catch you. And that's a fact. I was talking about that club you rented out first for a party that had to feel good. Oh yeah, I had rented out Club Speed for my Gruff birthday party. That was my brother. And I wanted to make him, have a good time. And, at that time, money wasn't even an issue. So I rented a Club Speed. People wasn't on to Club Speed like that. And I threw the biggest party for my bro. I spent 32 grand on that shit. My boy that's working with the Rooftop movie, his name is Nat. Nat in the Hat, what they call him, Die Hard Records. I had him in control of, regulating everything for me. He was managing my label at the time. Gentleman's Corner said, Bootsie, the truth. Solidify. I appreciate that, bro. That's a fact. I've been out here putting that work in and helped a lot of niggas. Like they say, you ain't a real boss till you help niggas. Feel I Speak said, Garble Roach, you putting in real work. Yeah, I told you his track list is long. He said I'm helping McGruff with his catalog right now as we chat. Yeah, tell him his big brother, Big Bootsie said what up. He know what it is. His mother's my mother. And that's a big fact. I go to the crib, tell Mom that I'm tired, I need to lay down. I'm going to lay down. No problem. That's my brother. He the one that introduced me to Big L. That's how my Big L journey started. And that's how Big L became my brother. I spent 100 grand on Big L project running up and down the highways. When L got quiet with his career, I brought Big L back to life. And when he went back to New York, after he left with me down in North Carolina, that's when Dame and Jay-Z, they wanted to sign him. Not sign him, but partner up with him for his Flamboyant Entertainment record label. And we was about to be on a big journey, man. Facts. Can't make this stuff up. So yeah, I put in a lot of work. I lost a lot of money learning this game. I probably put $1 million into learning the music game. I made a lot of money too when I was rapping, selling records with my brother Nat in the Hat. So yeah, we did some things. And Nat plugged me with the distribution. So the distribution, I was selling vinyl and wax and all of that. I still got some vinyl and wax right now. Hold on, let me see if I can find something for you. Hold on. I can't find my vinyl. I got the record vinyls in here somewhere. It might be in my attic. I think I put some of them records upstairs. There was too many of them down here. But this is the joint with me and Big L and McGruff. This is the first record, Harlem NYC. Me, McGruff, and Big L, and then my boy Nat put his artist on there. This is what I did before Dame Dash or any of them. This was right after I came home though, but the Young Guns of Harlem with me and Kevin Frost, if y'all familiar with Kevin Frost. That's Kirk Frost, brother from Love and Hip Hop. Guru wrote, said, Bootsie, Big L brother trying to do a movie on L. Maybe you can help him. He's been calling me for help. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. One of the homies that's from Georgia, they actually got the trailer. I got the trailer in my email. But Lord Finesse wouldn't sign off for homie and them to do it. McGruff's son playing McGruff. I forgot the cat that was playing Big L. They had a Jay-Z joint. I actually put some of it on my Instagram, some of the trailer and some of the behind the scenes and all that, with the guy that was acting like Jay-Z, that was portraying Jay-Z. He sounds just like Jay-Z. He did the voice to everything. They had a dude playing Cameron, I think, and HUD 6. Gentleman Corner said, damn, it take two. Yeah, all this gonna be in my documentary, man. All this gonna be in the documentary. I got all this vinyl, everything from back in the days, man. Big facts. But yeah, I got the trailer in my email somewhere, man. But Lord Finesse wouldn't sign off on them doing the movie, and Big L brother was helping homie with doing that movie, and the movie looked good, great quality, everything. If they trying to revisit that, yeah, man, they can hit me up. McGruff got my number, Garu, cause you can get it from get my number from McGruff, man. I love to make sure that happens, man. Actually, I put them on the phone. I had a conference call with Dame Dash with my guy that actually is behind the movie. So I don't know if the brother is revisiting doing the movie with somebody else, but he had gave homie the pass to do it, and God bless him, their nephew, which is Lee's son that passed away, was a part of it also. And the process stopped once his big, the nephew got unalive, so that's what's up. So yeah, man, we getting ready to make some big moves this year. Actually, I got McGruff on my soundtrack for the movie too. He on there with a few cats. Let me think. Who else on there? But McGruff is on there. I even got Pastor Troy on there. I even got Rich Homie Quan gonna be on there too. Song Never Heard with my nieces. Yeah, Rich Homie got a mean joint on there, man. And I wanted to see if I could do a video for it and utilize his brother and them, and utilize some part pictures or something with with Rich Homie Quan. I got my boy DJ Luke Nasty, the one with the song I'm On My Way, hey, 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 hey. And then he had the other song, This Is When I Might Be High, Rough Sex Is the Safe Sex. I got him on there. So yeah, we getting ready to do it real big for the Wrong Number soundtrack. The movie gonna be crazy, and we're gonna go crazy with the promotion. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna come to New York and do a viewing for it, so people get to see it. And I'm gonna do a viewing down here in North Carolina for it. So, yep, shout out to my brother Terry D. He's one of my guys. His pen game for writing movies is crazy. He got a lot of movies on Tubi already. He actually wrote the movie 17 Days. It's a domestic violence film. Got Joanna Man in there, which is Miguel Nunez. Omar Gooden, he's in there. They're my boys. Had a good time making that movie with them. That's still on Tubi, so y'all, the number 17 Days, the movie, y'all check that out. My brother Mark Scheich from DC played real good. And he was the one that was the boyfriend, but don't get mad at him, because he played the part real good, real good. He was, you know, it's about him getting with a girl, and then he, you know, make her fall in love, they fall in love, get married, and then he start beating on her, doing the things that most narcissist men that like to hit on women do. But it's a film to show other women how these type of men, you know, do, and show men also. So, but that's a film up there written by Terry D. But we got some joints coming, man. Gentleman's Corner said McGruff, Monique for favorite track, feels good. Yeah, I like that song too. Gruff went crazy on that. He went crazy on that. That's a classic right there. My brother Gruff, man. But yeah, y'all gotta roll out, y'all. Gotta go open this truck up. And I'll be back, man. I'll be back. I got some few more things that we gonna chop it up about, man. I appreciate everybody coming up here showing me love and, you know, giving me y'all input once again. We can't lose. We can't lose. Peace to all the people that donate to my Cash App. The Cash App will be in the description. Y'all hit me up. I'll see y'all in a minute. Salute to all y'all, man. Feel I speak, you know what it is. All in the chat. Peace.